pile right here is the rejects, what we call rejects, which is the 5/8 minus, which carries all the gold. So we'll let them rip up as much as they want in order to get that. We have about, I think it's either 48.5 or 43.5 acres here, which is essentially our staging area. And then we have 732 acres that are around it, including, we also have that range back there to that double, kind of like two little mounds in the back. We have that section that goes back there too.
Somebody's digging up there.
That's ours too. That's all ours. So this is actually the staging area, probably where all the mining goes on. So we'll take you down to the other end and show you the ponds and stuff, and then we can just kind of drive off through the property. Okay. All right. Here is there are layers of what's called caliche, and the caliche layers are essentially under this level here, and those layers are also very hard and they carry a lot of gold. Let me go down and take a look at the pond.
Where they dump it in, and then it goes up the conveyor belt. All these pieces are put together. It goes through that big piece of equipment back there that washes it. Gallons of water looks like.
800,000. Each one of these ponds, these two rear ponds are settling ponds. They will take about 300,000 gallons of water each. That one up there, the first one, is the feeder pond, and that's about 200,000 gallons. Essentially where the scrubber is where the well is going to be drilled. That well is going to be pumping 400 gallons a minute into these ponds. And essentially, as the sediment gets dropped into this pond, it's all going to be channeled into the pond next to it. It's essentially, it's like a damming effect. And all the water goes back to that original cycling, the original feeder pond. We've shut down during the hot season. So generally June to September, we don't do anything. We kind of tune things up, bring in some equipment from other sites, and just kind of prepare for that. So next month, what we want to do is line these ponds and get that well drilled. And then starting at the end of September, beginning of October, we're going to set up the trommel and the scrubber, and we're going to start running that. So essentially we're going to have super stackers from that pile. The dozer is going to get up on top. We're going to have that gray hopper kind of pushed into that pile. The dozer just pushes material onto a conveyor that runs essentially 450, 550 feet to that green trommel. And from that green trommel, it'll be discharging into here. And of course, it's just a cycle of water. The trommel gets fed from that pond. Everything gets discharged into this. The overflow goes into that. The overflow of that goes back. Well, let's show you the rest of the property. You've seen probably 60 acres here. All right. So to give you an idea, so everything along this road on the outside of this berm, all the way practically to the base of that mountain, is private land. There's a cutoff there in which becomes public land. So in essence, the whole wash, which is known as the Plomosa Wash, everything south to the other side of this hill, in other words, that ridge back there. That opens up in what's called the Plomosa Wash. Plomosa Wash is essentially known for carrying the big gold. And all of the 732 acres of the Jackpot is based along that whole ridge, which essentially drains and drops about 150 feet down into the valley. So, there was a lot of water that ran through there. And you'll see throughout this whole area behind this hill where dozens of companies have excavated and, ran material and done all sorts of work. And all we've done is now just consolidated all that, take readings on everything, put out the 43-101.
They did that at $300-400 gold.
They did that at anywhere from $75 gold all the way up to, they went right through the 80s too, right? The big gold rush. So it was literally in the last 50 years, 50 to 60 years. And they took, at those prices, they took $50 million worth of gold out. And according to our indications, they've just barely scratched the surface because they were using crude methodology, dry washers that were losing half the gold. We have piles of theirs that we've tested that come out a half a gram of gold at the time. So,
We'll check it out.
let's do it. The Plomosa Wash came millions of years after, which is what we drove. The premise is, from the archaeologists and all the original indications, is that this carried down the larger gold. The stuff that went down the Plomosa, down that way, was the finer and smaller amounts of gold. So essentially the Plomosa Wash is everything that we're sitting on. This bed is like bedrock. And what it does, it slopes all the way down between these hills. And it actually pinches and then opens up. So as we go down, you'll see that whole several fingers and washes that open up all the way down. So it's essentially the 732 acres starts about halfway down. If you'd like, let's drive down and you'll start getting a better indication of the work that's actually been down.
Where's the plant operating?
Which one?
Plant currently operating.
Oh, the plant was taken down from here. The original plant was taken down. See, we don't operate in the summer. June through September, not operating. The plant was all taken down. Okay, so the plant was operating where you saw the tail pile, in the hole. It was in that hole that you see there. That's where the plant was. So in the future, where you want to process is you want to process up here. So you take material from there and you bring it there to process. Okay, because that down there is public land. This up here is private land. With the private land, you don't need the permits to,
If you operate in that area, you need to apply.
We have that.
You have, okay.
We also have the plan of operation for the public land. So we have the private approved. You have a copy. So the only thing that needs to be done is NEPA, which is environmental, biology. Once that's done, then it's good to go. This particular section is really interesting to us because this berm that you see here was man-made. This was actually a railroad tie. This was carts of gold that were actually coming from here. And we discovered this by accident. Because we were cutting into this and we found the railroad tie.
Okay.
They built a railroad all the shit out of here.
You know, and it's a half a mile long.
Wow.
So in the old days, if you built a half a mile railroad, you weren't doing this for fun.
Yeah.
You weren't doing this for a weekend.
Yeah.
What you were doing is you were serious. You were moving 100 tons an hour, and you needed ore. So they were moving ore from these particular fault that we've discovered, and they built a railroad. And this here is the top of it, and it goes all the way down to that pile where that dry wash plant was.
Wow.
What you got there?
A little vein going through both sides.
Look at that. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is.
You flip it over, it goes completely through it. See it?
There it is right there. Do you have a hammer?
In
Oh.
the truck, I think.
We could have, I don't know if you can see, but there's a vein that runs right through there. And essentially that's what we look for on a larger scale here, what we call a fault.
What kind of rock can we go?
I think because this carries a lot of pyrite, this granite, I think there's a lot of gold in this granite, you'll believe. Yeah, let's find some with some pyrite in it.
So gram?
A tenth of an ounce,
Oh, okay.
to an ounce per
2
ton.
ounce. 0.1到
Yeah,
0.1 到
4 grams to
Yeah.
31 grams.
But do you think this one carry gold?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. Take some samples back, you'll see.
But if this rock carry 1 gram or 2 gram gold, we just mine this rock.
We just mined it.
Just mind the rock.
谁知道哪里？
圆圆大大小小。
这红色的，有点红色。
你这个一半红一半嫩。
I think that the overall grade of gold is about half gram, you can take half gram. What's the grade of gold here?
The grade as in percentage of gold or the grade of gold?
The grade.
90, 92. 90 to 90.
The
No,
grade,
like
I
the
mean the grade
percentage.
of the gram per ton.
Oh, it's thousand. This rock in ton is about $10,000 in gold. This is $10,000 a ton.
I think this stuff is $1 a ton.
What are you talking about today's gold price?
Yeah, it's about 7 ounces, 8 ounces per ton.
7, 8 ounces.
Oh, you really rich.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have more.
7.
Here's a map.
Okay.
This
now.
is the overall. This is the overall project. So private property, settling ponds. This is where I showed you guys. This gives you everything in red is the private.
Property line.
Everything is purple is the 732 acres.
Okay.
You'll see where all tests and previous diggings have occurred. Okay, this is the area that's down here,
Yeah.
where it narrows and then it widens up.
Yeah.
which
Roughly,
we
you
just
know,
covered.
any number of this area, they gold, how much gold here.
Well, we have a log somewhere that
We have a
shows
log, yeah,
that stuff, yes.
For the testing for each
Yes.
one.
for each one, yeah. We log that.
Nuggets.
Okay.
In other words, we have a record. And what we've discovered is it anywhere never gets less than 0.2, 0.3. Never less.
Okay.
Peter, what weight do you want to do? 40, 80, 100? 100.
100 pounds?
Just drop it down.
In-house chemist.
Now after that about how you got. Oh, alright, great.
That's a nice little picker. Johnny, that's a nice little picker there.
Can we take some from that?
From that, yes. You can take some from there. We'll do 100 shovels here, and then we'll do whatever 50 shovels over there. Now the area on there that you want is Did you weigh that? You'll weigh it.
Water in there.
There we go.
Oh,
Anything in there?
Oh! Nice. Nice.
pretty good. It's pure. Huh?
About here, 90%, 91%,
100%,
92.
Yeah.
Average 90, 91, 92.
Pretty good.
Anything else? No? That was it? That was it? What kind of deal is that? I think it's pretty good. I'm quite impressed with that.
We're going to pull all of that into there.
Pull it all into the bottle.
He wants to take this one and then this one. That's
This would be. This would be down this road. That's the tail. That's that pile.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to go there? That's tails. That's not virgin. You know that, right?
That's been run by
That's
somebody
been
already.
run in the dry washer already.
No, I don't want to take sample from that tile.
So,
I'll
but-
take
oh.
sample.
Okay,
Down in
so
the-
let's
yeah,
go
yeah,
there.
yeah.
Let's go.
If they are
after
trench
the tail.
or
Oh.
if they are clean,
Like the
Go.
virgin,
Go.
the virgin part.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's go. We'll find you something. All right. Over here on our thing, that's what I was trying to do. On the private line, we've got 100,000 tons
Like about 20?
process that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, he's not done yet.
You might want to go ahead and pull that out of there, though. You want to go ahead and pull that out of there?
No. No, we haven't got to.
一点吧。That's okay。我的刚刚有一袋。
For this kind of gold, I think.
We
Okay,
good?
let's go.
Lunchtime.
We finished.
Lunchtime?
Lunchtime. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very
John.
welcome.
Good job.
Good job. Good gold. Every time we find gold, it's a good job.
There, we get the rejects, 5/8 mine. But anything that's 3/4 to 4 inch, they get.
Okay.
We sold
So 3/4 to 4 inch they get, and then anything
less.
like
Yeah, we get
quarter
Three-
inch
no.
or less.
5/8.
5/8.
So
5/8.
like this,
This.
like that, and less.
OK，就是剩下这些我们就是这个。
Like that pile over there.
Yeah.
So with the C-Mix deal, we're going to end up with 10 times that.
Yeah.
So the mountain that you see in front,
Yeah.
instead of being a mountain of rock, it'll be a mountain of 5/8 minus.
So they've crushed it with their equipment, their diesel fuel, and their manpower. And we just come in and take that.
The
The
reject.
little ones.
Yeah.
Reject.
So with no wear and tear on the equipment.
And run it.
Yeah.
Well, the only equipment is the actual processing equipment. Those quartz strings, basically quartz coming to the surface, running as a vein down the mountain. Voila!